Hello friends, EJ here again from the back porch, and I got something just a little bit different for you this time around. So I think I've talked to some of you all. If I got the opportunity to do some education work at the East Tennessee State University, and I'm studying Appalachian studies. Goes hand in hand with things I love here at the antique store, as well as with this region. So I had the opportunity to do a paper, a research project. And I just want to share that with you. It may be something that you would be interested in. It's actually part of the project is derived from a recipe. It's actually a food waste course, so it's derived from a recipe from 1896, I believe. And during the process, we actually made our own butter and used an antique butter churn to do so. So it might be something that you'd be interested in seeing. So we're going to share that with you, and I hope you enjoy it. If there's any questions I can answer, I'd be glad to. But anyway, here we go. So it is an honor to be able to participate in graduate studies at ETSU, and especially during this time in the food waste course in the Appalachian Studies program. This is a project that I have the privilege of doing, and I have some wonderful assistants, Miss Lydia and Miss Lily, my daughters. And the purpose of this project is we're going to kind of examine the difference that real butter makes as opposed to margarine, and the time of change in which those ingredients kind of left the scope of recipes and how they were recorded. Through the research, through our archives of Appalachia, I've got to find some research, and I found some recipes. And the specific recipe that we're going to examine is one of sugar cookies. Everybody loves a sugar cookie. So we're going to check out what the difference is between real butter and margarine. And we're going to see if it makes a difference in the cooking. We're going to see if it makes a difference in the taste of it. And we're going to let you follow along with us in the process. And specifically right now, what we got to do first is make the butter. And we're going to be using this early Daisy churn. It's Daisy brand churn, and we're going to churn our own butter from whipping cream and start from there. So follow with us, if you will, along the journey. So you keep stirring, and while you're stirring that, we're going to put the other ingredients together in a mixing bowl. So the recipe that we're going to use is actually from the Gray family papers as distributed through the archives of Appalachia. These are dated 1894. And we're going to go ahead and get started while my helpers here are continuing with the churning process. We're going to go ahead and get started with mixing up the other recipes. So this is a handwritten ledger that we have access to in the archives at Appalachia. And it reads like this. Take 1/2 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and 3 eggs. So we're going to mix all this together and see what happens. anticipation that we're eventually going to get done with this churning butter, I have started the preheating process of the oven. 350 degrees is what it calls for. Actually, in the 1896 recipe, or whatever that number was, it requires for a, quote, warm oven. I'm going to go for 350 as a good explanation of what warm would be as I keep churning. And all of a sudden, it got really hard to churn, which is a good sign that I think that we're down to butter and buttermilk. So now what we're going to do is use the strainer to strain all of the water, juice slash buttermilk out of the butter, and then we can use the butter. So according to my family tradition, the way to do this is to actually knead it with your hands so that you get all the buttermilk out of the butter and it will last longer and cook off better. So we're going to get this paddle out of our way and see what we can do. So I'm going to recheck my recipe. It calls for a half cup of butter. So I think we got more than enough there to do it. So we're going to get our measuring cup, measure out some of that, and then we're going to store the rest of it. So looks like that's right at a half cup of butter. I'm going to put it in there, and then we're going to cheat a little bit and soften it for our recipe through the microwave, but don't tell anybody. But before we do that, I think it's only fair that we should have a taste test. What do you girls think?
Yes.
All right, Lydia, there's yours to taste. Lily, there's yours to taste. You work so hard at this, we'll let you be the first to taste it. Tell me what you think.
Doesn't taste like much.
Try it, Lips.
I'm scared I don't like
Oh, come on. It's just butter.
Well, I don't like butter.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you think, Lily?
It's pretty good, but it doesn't taste like anything.
No, well, that's a good start. We'll see how it does in cookies. We're going to mix this to a smooth consistency, and then I think the correct word is dollop on the pan. I don't know if that's the correct word or not, but that's what we're going to do. Dollop. We're going to dollop. So maybe I shouldn't have melted the butter, but it looks like it's going to be a firm enough consistency to make some cookies. I'm going to try to make all of these the same size so that maybe they'll cook up well. I've got my doubts. We'll see. So I'm going to start out with 10 minutes and see how that goes. Like I said, I've got it kind of a little loose. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll see how it goes. There's the sound of happiness. So they smell good. They kind of look like pancakes, but after we cut them, after they cool a little bit and we cut them, I think they're going to turn out pretty well. So what we're doing now is we're going to do the other recipe, the same recipe actually with the margarine instead of the butter, and see if they turn out better or see if they taste different or things like that. And so we're going to finish that up now while these cool, and we'll give you a taste test momentarily. So this particular mixture is a little bit more firm. I think it may be because the margarine was cooled and maybe a little firmer to begin with. Then again, it may be because of the consistency of the margarine, but it's looking pretty good. So we're gonna dollop these out on that tray there and stick them in the oven. We'll eventually have a taste test before long. Here we go, 350 for 10 minutes. We'll see if they're the same. Oh, the sound of happiness. Let's see what they look like. So there's that kind of same consistency, which I suppose would tell us that it wasn't the butter issue, but they're a little different. We're gonna let them cool a little bit, cut them out into cookie shapes, and then we're gonna have a taste test. We'll see you in a few. So despite our best efforts, here's what we've got. We've got 2 different batches, and they're of kind of the same consistency. Makes me wonder if maybe either my lack of skill might have developed them that way, or it could have been, you know, maybe that's what they look like at the turn of the 19th century, or the turn of the 20th century rather. But so I've got 2 official taste testers here, Lily on my left and Lydia on my right. And they're going to see which one of these is better. I, too, am going to try them. And we will get our heads together momentarily and see if we can tell which one tastes better. So, Lily, you try this one. Lydia, you try this one. And I'll try this one. Tastes like a sugar cookie. A little fluffy.
Uh-huh. That's what makes it good.
Definitely different than what sugar cookies we're used to, but I guess we can call them old style.
Fluffy cookies.
All right, so you got that idea down? Put those down. No. Mm-hmm. Now try one of these. Okay. Now, don't comment yet. Hold your thoughts for a second. This is batch 1. This is batch 2. On the count of 3, you hold up the hand of which one you think is better, the number of fingers. Everybody understand? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is 2-1. Lily and Lydia say the older style, original, all-natural butter, homemade butter cookies are better than the margarine cookies. I personally think the ones with the margarine are a little better because they're a little more, maybe a tad bit sweeter and a little more consistent. Nonetheless, interesting project. We've enjoyed it. We got to make butter. We got to see how butter was made from the old days. I hope this makes for a decent complement to the project paper that I'll be presenting. So anyway, from the Swatchel home, thanks for joining us.